Thursday, Star Boys, Sith Triumvirate, the Rule of Three. I don't know, whatever else the name come up with. But how you doing, boys?
Doing great.
Phenomenal. Yourself?
Cool, chilling. Yeah, I had that stream earlier and now here, so we're probably going to run this show a little shorter than usual. But what were we were just talking backstage, and Stupendous was telling us how he watched a little bit of the Skeleton Crew, and as we all know, it's over now. So, what'd you think?
You know, it felt like crazy rushed, but with what we got, I was pretty satisfied in terms of the story they were telling. It had a whole lot more potential, and it's sort of a confusing project to me, quite honestly, because it meanders a lot in sort of the middle, and then it goes straight, not even breakneck. It just sort of ends. There's not really even a big climax. I mean, I guess there's a speeder bike chase, but that's really honestly it. I think it's running into a big problem that a lot of these other shows are facing, and that is that they so desperately want a second season that they're not telling a completed story with their first big outing. So overall, I'd probably give it, like a 7, just solid 7. Pretty enjoyable show, rushed ending. Overall, extremely disappointing time with this coming out. I watched your review of it, and you had mentioned that if it had come out immediately after Rogue One, you would have thought the numbers would have been pretty good, actually. And I agree with that assessment. Yeah. All things considered, this is on the better end of the Disney Star Wars era, but I would say barely. Sort of like with what you said was Solo.
really not saying much at all.
Lukewarm.
Yeah.
Lukewarm.
Anakin warm. Yeah.
Woo. Well, no, that's good. That's Mustafar hot. We want that. We want Anakin warm.
We do. We do.
What'd you think, Dash?
Look, risking saying something really superficial and coming off as if I have some kind of deep insight, I think I had a profound realization watching this, because I had the exact same thoughts as Stoops about everything just rushing at the end. I was really enjoying it. It was kind of meandering, but I thought they're going to do a conclusion that was going to be satisfying. But there was no conclusion. There was just that little bit of amazing speech by Jude Law, and then you wanted to know more, and they knew that we wanted to know more. But two things. First, Jude Law as an actor really carried this, and I realized why I liked SM33 is because he was voiced by Nick Frost. So clearly when Disney puts the money behind it and gets the actors, they can elevate whatever they're in. But to my moment of profoundness, as I digress, I think I appreciate and respect the fact that Disney is finally being honest with what it's doing. I think this is the first Disney Star Wars show, and I'll explain it like this. When Disney acquired the Star Wars IP, they said that they were going to honor George Lucas's legacy, which, as we know, that means just leveraging legacy characters into whatever they do, and obviously following the trends of social issues in the real world. Like they really didn't focus on Star Wars lore. I think we can all agree. They really just tried to leverage the IP and do whatever they thought the audience wanted to see, which really you don't draw a line in the sand and say, these are the stories that we want to tell. I think Skeleton Crew, and think about it like this, is so Disney. Pretend you didn't watch it in the comfort of your home. Pretend you were in Disneyland on a theme park ride. Skeleton Crew belongs there. Like, it feels like someone's written it for a theme park, like they're building it in the background right now. As soon as I realized that, I went, holy shit, this is actually what Disney Star Wars is. Focus to kids, feels like a theme park ride, probably going to build a ride about it. I'm like, oh my God.
That's somewhat adventurous while you're watching. Once it's over, you forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like what I said in my review. It feels like an arcade game, like an 80s, 90s arcade game, which, fuck, I love arcade games, but at the end of the day, it's an arcade game.
Totally. I don't know. I think that clearly the Star Wars that that Disney is developing is more in line with pushing whatever agenda that they want to service. So this does remind me of like older Disney Star Wars era. But I don't think that it's going to transform into this with Disney, because with the low ratings of Skeleton Crew, I don't see them viewing this as a positive evolution. But with all of that said, George Lucas would probably love Skeleton Crew, and
Yep.
he would probably love the creatives that made it, and that it is for kids, and that it is for a new generation. And if you approach it like that, I think it makes the show a whole lot more enjoyable. But, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens, you know.
What did you guys think of Jod's backstory? Because
Probably
that's sort
the
of the
most
big reveal.
interesting part of the show, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I ran and I made this AI version to test my AI skills. Terrible, by the way, to try and like to make that happen, because I was so excited. I was like, I want to watch that show. Like, it's obviously Jude Law's acting and some pretty decent writing, but that's all it takes to make something compelling. Why they just give us little snippets and then just throw it away? No, they're not. Obviously, they're teasing us for season 2. They know what they're doing. Why?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. They wrote it with the potential hopes of a season 2, but thanks to the Acolyte, it shat all over that. So we'll never get that. But that's the problem with shows, I think. They're not writing to tell a story. They're writing to keep it open-ended. Maybe it'll get picked up at some point. Maybe the reviews will be good. Maybe enough people will watch and we'll get greenlit for a second season.
It's funny you
This is
say
not-
that. John Watts actually said on Forbes, we wanted to make sure this season had a satisfying beginning, middle, and end. That if people want to see more Skeleton Crew, we'd be happy
Yeah.
to make more when they're asked about season 2.
Right.
But that's what they always say. And then they have creepy voyeur Plagueis peeking out of a cave. And it's just like, this isn't subtle at all, guys. You're hitting me in the head with a sledgehammer.
So what do you guys
That'd
think of go ahead, Dash, before we move
No,
on
I
to
was just gonna say, Plagueis being like, "Give me your credits and you can see me." It's like a
Yeah.
microtransaction Plagueis.
Yeah,
Just
no,
throwing money
literally.
at the screen.
Literally, you want to see more of me? All right, make sure you watch for season 2 next time on Dragon Ball Z. What do you guys think of the rumors for the Mando movie with Embo?
The Clone Wars movie remake.
Oh, no.
Did you hear about this? Wave?
Honestly, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't hate it. I do
Oh shit! Okay.
have a little bit of a fear that it's going to feel a little small scale and a little bit underwhelming for the big villains of the next big Star Wars movie. But if this is just the little synopsis that they're giving to get people in the door and they have a bigger reveal in the film, I'm okay with that. But if we're operating under the assumption that Embo and Rada are the main antagonists of the first Star Wars outing since the Rise of Skywalker, that's a misstep. A lot of people have been drawing the conclusion that Disney saw all the money that Moana 2 brought in when that was originally supposed to be a made-for-TV or Disney Plus film, and that they're taking the wrong lessons from that and sort of wanting to make a small-scale story, you know, appeal to a mass audience, and that will just be sent out to die at this point with the Star Wars fan base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's unfortunate, you know. But at the end of the day, what can we do? It's like, you know, everyone's waiting for change at Lucasfilm, and you know, yeah, that'd be great. But at the same time, change doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a change for good. It just means it's going to be a change of face, but it's the same, probably line of thinking. So everyone says, "Oh, I want Kathleen Kennedy out. Bring someone else in." It's like, well, I don't think it's going
You
to be
get rid of the
great.
Grand Master, you still got the Council.
Well, yeah, wow, yeah, that Lucasfilm story group, they're Jesus Christ. I don't know what's
Dark
going on there.
Council.
Yeah, but you know, at this point, it's like, well, what hope do we have? We have the new writer for the Old Republic movie, like Dawn of the Jedi, Dawn of the Force, and he's like not wanting to use any lore whatsoever. What? What is this about?
That's a big mistake. I do think the idea of introducing Embo as sort of an initial antagonist could work, as long as it builds to the bigger narrative, which to me right now seems to be Thrawn arriving to Dathomir. That's like the big event that's happened in this timeline so far, and Ahsoka being trapped in Peridia. So I want Mando to deal with the repercussions of the Empire returning too, because that just feels much grander in scale. And maybe again, they're just trying to get us in the door with a bounty hunter assassin's tale, but we'll just have to see. It's a long ways out, unfortunately.
It is. And this is what I was talking about earlier with Drinker and Mauler and Snarky J and Angry Badger. Was like, what are we going to be expecting going forwards? Are we going to be getting that Rey movie for sure? Or are they going to cancel that? You know, there's so many projects that they've announced that we haven't really ever heard of again. Like the Lando movie, there was a droid movie or show. There was the Patty Jenkins space pilot movie.
Ryan
What?
Johnson trilogy.
Yeah. Everything just kind of they announced it, Taika Waititi and all this, and then they just kind of don't talk about it ever again. But they don't ever give us an update. They don't say it's canceled. They just literally don't talk about it ever. You know what happened to Star Wars Eclipse? We should be getting
Really
updates
bad PR. Yeah,
every
this
4 or
horrible
5
PR.
months.
They slowly
horrible.
die behind the scenes. That's
Well,
what's
yeah,
going on.
they think we're just gonna forget about it. Like, oh yeah, well, okay, all right. I guess that's not happening anymore. It's like, okay, well, on to the next project, which will probably never be talked about again either. It's like
But here's
really,
my question, man. So Obi-Wan Kenobi had extremely good viewership. Why have they not moved on that? Do you think it's because that they just want to develop their own characters and they
yeah,
don't want to, play with George's creations
this is
anymore?
exactly what I think. I think that
That's
and
awful.
this is a huge conspiracy theory I have about Lucasfilm and Disney in general, is that they want to kill off or shy away from all of the legacy characters that George Lucas created because they probably feel like they have to, maybe they don't know the characters or they feel it's too dangerous and it's too sensitive. But if they just kill them off, then they won't have to worry about them anymore. So they create all of these extra new characters in between the movies so that whether they're going to die or not, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, right? Like Skeleton Crew, like um, Andor. I mean, Andor, for God's sakes, is a spin-off show of a spin-off movie about one moment in Star Wars, like a time period in Star Wars. Like, it's wild to me. And I just think that, they could be using that money for much better projects. Like for example, Acolyte. It was supposed to be something that wasn't going to touch any of the prequels or anything like that, but lo and behold, they put Yoda and Ki-Adi-Mundi, who wasn't even supposed to be alive yet, and then Plagueis and all this bullshit in there. It's like they need to just either really stay away or they need to full on just jump in the mud and play with all the toys. Make stuff from the prequel trilogy, in between episode 1 and 2. We want to see that whole thing. Make some live action Clone Wars with Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka. Don't give us little clips in Ahsoka season 1 or season 2. Give us the real deal. Go for it. Don't tease us a little bit. Obi-Wan Kenobi was shit. They could have really just made the characters fleshed out to be how they were supposed to be. Vader was like a little bitch. Reva was the focus of that show. And don't even get me started on the fact that they didn't have a gimbal, for God's sakes. It was supposed to be artistic. I couldn't even see what I was watching, man. I was getting motion sickness the entire time. They don't have people that really understand the characters or the lore or respect the franchise. They really just want to put their name on it. They want to stamp their freaking name on Star Wars and they'll be done with it and get their money and that's it. Just like Leslie Headland.
The thing that confused me about Obi-Wan, because we haven't really had a chance to talk about this before ever, so hearing you talk about it firsthand is cool, but something that has always perplexed me is why even have Vader lose in that final confrontation? It feels like it would just go against pretty much everything that we know about his character and his evolution and how dangerous he's become in this period of time. And I don't understand why you would have Obi-Wan deteriorate as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It could have built to a much more epic and appropriate conclusion where Vader has this really sinister moment and that's where Obi-Wan sort of breaks completely. But we just didn't really get any of that.
A New Hope.
Yeah.
That's why, last time we, faced each other, I was the apprentice, was it? And now
Yeah.
I'm the master.
But
They
that's
had
so
to have Vader
vague.
lose.
It's so vague though. Like I could see him losing like a philosophical debate or like an encounter, but not like their big fight, you know?
Listen, let me just say, in Stuart Beatty's original version, it is really cool. Really cool. And I don't know how much, I don't think he wants me to divulge, but it's quite amazing. And how they hired that man and then didn't use him anymore. I honestly think that they're some of the most incompetent people making decisions there, because it's like, not only, it's one thing to just like be completely stupid and not hire the right people at all. But when you hire the right person and then you let them go and then you try and find two people who suck at the job to take that amazing script and make some shit garbage diluted version of that with shitty takes and ideas and directing, what is going on in your head? I seriously think like is you trying to sabotage this franchise on purpose?
Th-
What's
They
the
even
deal?
had the Kenobi novel already, which was really good. Like they could have just page for page the Kenobi novel. That
Yeah.
brings me to something I see a lot on the internet, and I know you guys see it from the audience too. People say to me, I refuse to watch, like, what do you think of the Disney show? I refuse to watch Disney shows because supporting them prolongs the lifespan. I personally, and I think you guys do as well, would rather, instead of a company restructure, the rights go to somebody else who will handle it. Obviously in an ideal world, George comes back, but just anybody other than Disney, because they just keep, it's like this prolonged car crash that just keeps happening over and over and over again. So my question is, what do you think about people asking, basically saying we shouldn't watch anymore? Like everybody should stop so Disney kind of suffocates and they sell off the rights in desperation.
It's mixed for me. I mean, my channel has basically shifted entirely over to expanded universe Legends continuity lore. But I would like to come back when Star Wars is better and do more canon lore, but just hoping that it gets better. I guess my answer to that is I'm a Star Wars fan, and I just want this franchise that I adore so much to be good. And because I'm a fan, they have a lot of goodwill that they've abused, but I just can't help it. I want to watch because I care.
Well, I'm not saying Star Wars dies. I'm saying somebody else gets it if we suffer another 5 years by choking out Disney and not supporting them, if that makes sense. So, like, because
No,
we've
it
already
makes
done 10
sense, yeah.
years.
I guess another part of me just feels like that's an unrealistic end game for this time right now. I don't think Disney is going to sell anytime soon. That is what I would like to happen, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. I don't think they'll sell either. I think they like holding on to the fact that they have this prize that they're destroying, that maybe out of every 10 projects they get one semi right.
Yeah. I mean, it's in my mind, it's the most valuable, most acclaimed film franchise in the world. And to have that in their ownership and in their corner, I think the dollar figure with that mind thinking is huge. It goes beyond even like, what is it worth? It's more like, what is it worth to Disney?
Yeah, but like you got a license to print money. They're basically at Atten, and instead of printing out the credits, they're just shitting in the machine going, why is it not working? Like,
Yeah,
they can print the money.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head. It's literally they have the wrong person punching in the keys. It's like you have the machine that can make you all the money in the world and make really, really amazing movies that are inspiring to people that already has a fan base. Like you guys, it's like someone does the grunt work of a business, brings it up to $4 billion. Someone comes in and you bypass all the hard work that it took to get the money to make the first movie, all the legal battles, everything. You bypass all that shit and you have money. Cool. You buy it. And then you just run it into the ground. Like, what the fuck, dude?
I can't help but feel that their control is more valuable to them than making more money. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the only thing I can think of in my mind why it's gone this way.
You
Yeah,
know what
no,
they
I
say,
agree.
Stoops?
What do they say?
All who gain power are afraid to lose it, even the Jedi.
Yes.
It is yeah. Why? I wanted Theory to say it because he's got the best Palpy voice. It's true though.
It is.
I don't
And,
understand them, man.
you know, I think as long as there's a few of us who aren't despicable shills, and actually, because it's funny, these shills that are the most prominent ones out there, the biggest ones out there that are like the poster boy or girl of all the Disney stuff that comes out. I've talked to them before they were shills and after they were shills. I've been friends with some of them, and they don't think the way that that they come off on screen. I'll tell you that much right now. Right? It's just a bag at the end of the day. So I think if there's a few of us left, at least, which there are, you, me, Dash, Critical Drinker, Mauler, few others, who just speak their mind and aren't bought out, we'll at least be able to put the pressure on kind of just showing the media that like what we really think. In a world full of people that are just bought out, I think it's important to have a few real fans that aren't afraid to voice their opinions for getting canceled or whatever it might be. We're getting called racist and sexist if you didn't like fucking Acolyte.
That doesn't make sense though, because all the people who love Disney say they're part of the rebellion.
Yeah, well,
Sorry, I can't help it.
certain point
The
of view,
big
I guess.
mega corporation behind them, and they're like, "We're just a
They're
little
the
rebellion."
rebels.
That's the funny part, eh? Yeah, it's this multi-billion-dollar corporation that controls so much, and yet the
They hand off them like a puppet. They're
they're the
like,
good
"We're the-"
guys. Yeah,
It'd be funny if they had like a big banner of like the rebellion, and it falls down. It's just the empire, and they're like, "Oh, put the banner back up."
you're like, oh, put it back up, put it back up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Ain't that funny? Brainwashing and shilling is a real thing. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, I hope it's worth it. It never is. So we'll see what happens. What else we got going on? Oh yeah, Dash, you were telling me they revamped a new game, an old game.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. Theory made a mistake, a huge mistake. I said to Theory, dude, I'm so stoked. I played this game called Jedi Power Battles on PS1 when I was a kid. It is equal parts amazing, equal parts Dark Souls in terms of dying. It was kind of janky as a platformer because they didn't have any give, and it's really hard in the way the camera was set up to space jumps. But I had a friend who couch co-opted it, and I literally played it with him so much. He had to beat Maul at the end because it's based on the Phantom Menace. I yelled at my mom one time, which is a big no-no because she didn't hire it for the weekend. So when I say I'm ready to risk it all for this game, they're just doing a remaster, and it's coming out on the 23rd of January. You can play as 13 characters, I think, something like that. Jar Jar Binks is one of them. And because it's such a trolly, rage-inducing game, it honestly has great combat mechanics. The blaster deflect stuff is awesome. Like, this game is so much fun, but you die so much. And Theory's like, oh, we should play it. I'm like, oh, big mistake, dude. This will be the worst stream of like 400 deaths getting through. Like,
It's gonna be the best. It'll be a blast. It'll be good.
Like Mortal Kombat gets toxic so fast.
Yeah.
I freaking hate losing in Mortal Kombat, and I suck.
Well, the problem with power battles is that you share power ups and experience. So, like, if Theory was focusing on one droid and I wipe the room, I get more experience. I become more powerful than him, and he's kind of screwed as the levels go on. So it's couch co-op, but you can screw your friends over, which is horrible. And because you're sharing a screen, if Theory ran off the screen to the right and was way faster than me, and I don't make a jump, you die if you miss a jump. Like, he'll push me off a ledge if he's running. It's so rage-inducing and amazing.
Is the goal to just like you're working together to get to the end, or do you face each other at the end?
No, it's working together, but they set it up in one of those maddening ways where you can just innately screw each other over.
And one can become way more powerful than the other.
Correct. So you have to be like, you can either be kind and be like, oh, catch up, or you can have this power up. I know you need it. Most of the time, you're just like, fuck him, I need this myself. You know, you grab
You
it
get to
and
the
then
end with Darth Maul, and they just like force push you towards him.
yeah, it is. The jumps are crazy too, but then you
You're
can
like
play
the
as
weaker
Maul.
one. He uses you as a shield.
See, I'm not that good.
Devious.
That's the problem. So if I screwed someone over, I'm gonna be, they'll be watching me fight Maul and just get totally trounced anyway. So there's no point. But yeah, it is a fun game. It's kind of like one of those day brighteners. The fact that they're releasing it in, what is it, a week?
I think so.
23rd.
Like 10
Phenomenal.
days or so. Oh, 23rd?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit, yeah. A week.
All I know is those dual saber games or whatever where you're in VR and you have to fight Vader. I did one of those at like a Dave and Buster's. It's the most frustrating thing ever.
Dude, did you play Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy back in the day?
No,
Big
I
time.
didn't.
I spent like 3 years, 2010 to 2013. I lived in those games and
Yep.
SWOTOR, unfortunately, and ran my own communities, blah, blah, blah. The best saber combat ever because the creators, Ravensoft, followed Kendo, so it has 7 cuts. Long story short, I thought it couldn't get any better. And they've put it on the Meta Quest, and I think it's called the Pico VR system. Now, I don't like VR too much. It makes me kind of sick, but I got the Quest just to play Outcast and Jedi Academy, and I got through my sickness. And it is the greatest, like I said to Theory, I think, and you a couple of streams ago, it makes you feel like a Jedi, but it is the greatest game ever. Nobody knows about it. I'm sad.
Gonna have to check it out.
They will now.
Oh, dude, it's so, yeah, but I mean, it's like a barrier to entry. It's what, $300 for a Quest, whatever the old one is. And then you got to spend an afternoon swearing at the headset and trying to set it up because it's not even official. Team Beef, I believe, are the guys that kind of ported it into the headset. And then you got to get over your sickness for VR. So I get that, like, VR is really, it's not there. You know what? Well, some people don't get motion sickness. I do, but it's not at that consumer level that they said it would be 5 years ago, but it's so worth it. I can't even begin to articulate how worth it is. Amazing.
Well, we'll play it. We should play JK2 online.
Yeah, Outcast or?
Yeah, Jedi Knight 2.
Oh, no. Is okay, Jedi Knight 1's Dark Forces, Jedi Knight 2,
Jedi
and
Outcast.
then Outcast, then Academy. Oh god, I lost it. They really do well with those naming systems.
I think it's Academy first.
No, Outcast and Academy, because Kyle's
Jedi
the
Knight,
trainer in
Jedi
Academy.
Oh, I didn't play Dark Forces. I only played JK2 and Jedi Academy, but I played mostly JK2.
Yeah, Outcast is the superior when it comes to single player story. It's phenomenal.
The best.
Yeah, we should play. I used to make guides back in the day, even though I suck.
Man. I've been wanting to play it for so long. It's just every time I do it, I'm kind of by myself, and I'm like, oh, this is fun, but I'd love to play with, have a headphone on, and we should game up.
Absolutely. It's because there's only they've still got servers up, but it's like they don't even have a list anymore that's public. You have to have them saved. And then there's 4 bots with random names that just have the worst AI. So yeah, you got to play together, but it'll be fun. Just be gentle on me because I was playing American servers and I got that lag. So my ping is like, whatever.
Too bad. You a Seppa.
Yeah, I'm going to get trounced.
Is TikTok actually going to get banned or not? I don't know. No idea.
It's impossible to tell right now. Every second it changes. It's either yes, no, yes, no.
Aaron Martinez, thank you. What up, Rossi? Hope to see you soon at MegaCon. By the way, we are going to be at MegaCon, and we're going to be also at Vancouver Fan Expo. So Vancouver's my home city, and we're going to have a booth there as well. So CTMZ with the biggest super chat of the night. He's always so generous. Thanks, man. Really appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Gifted 5 subs too. Thank you. Roly says, heard you guys talk Star Wars pet names last week. Just wanted to shout out my dog Lando. Thanks, guys. What up, Lando? That's a
What's
crazy.
a breed?
Yeah, where is that? Where'd he get married? Looks like someplace in Lord of the Rings or something. Europe.
Is
Hope
that
all's
like
well, Star Wars.
a Mormon temple, maybe, or something?
Maybe it's Isengard.
Could be.
Isengard.
Wizard
No,
says, I
that's the
knew it
wrong
was
place to
bad
start.
when Disney Star Wars started justifying bad projects instead of owning up to them. I feel as though they are drowning and take us with them. Love you, boys. Yeah, and I don't know if they're doing this on purpose or it's just clearly lack of vision, but yeah, I don't know, man. I guess we'll wait and see.
We'll drown together.
Yeah. Bring your floaties. Happy New Year, guys. What up, Finto? Skeleton Crew was surprising in my opinion. Was expecting much less. Shame about the ratings. Can't wait for Vader 2 theory. Yes, and I was just talking with my team a few days ago, and I was like, I'm so happy that this year we can finally say it's coming out this year because we've never been able to say that. But yeah, here we go. So, and then once 26 comes, we'll be able to say Vader 3 comes out this year. What up, McJuicy? What up, Matt? Did you guys, speaking of episode 2, Matt worked on episode 2 a little bit in the beginning. Did you guys see the teaser for the Republic Commando fan film, Lycan? Does it feel like the fans understand the universe more than the studios? No, but I can bring that up.
Yeah, let's give it a watch.
Lycan.
Was that the one from, it starts in like first person from the helmet, or am I thinking of the wrong thing? We're about to find out.
I don't know.
I also want to ask you guys to stream sort of rank the Disney Plus Star Wars projects, because I don't know where both of you stand entirely on that.
What do you mean rank the Disney Plus Star Wars projects?
Like, where do they all fit in terms of this is good, this is what we expect, to like Skeleton Crew to Acolyte?
Andor's number one. Can we just throw that out there?
Yeah, Andor.
For me, I mean, we were rating all of them.
Yeah, I mean, like just where Skeleton Crew fits tier wise.
Quick run through. Tales of the Jedi is number 1. Mando season 1 and 2 is 2 and 3. Boba Fett's shit. Acolyte's shit. Obi-Wan was shit. And I hate to be like, I hate to even say that, because when I was watching it, I was invested. I was looking forward to it, you know, going somewhere. But when you step back and you're like, the hell is this? Basically just brought Qui-Gon back for 2 seconds and it made me emotional. But anyways, you know, Tales of the Empire was really bad. I'd say the best things that Disney Star Wars has done is probably Rogue One, Mando season 1 and 2, Tales of the Jedi, the Jedi Fallen Order games, Skeleton Crew. What do you guys think?
What do you think of the Luke stuff in the Book of Boba Fett? Because for me, the Luke episode was great, and that
well, you know what? I sigh because they just kind of shoehorned all that stuff into Boba. And it was like supposed to be about Boba, man. You know,
Yeah.
Why are we getting Luke and Mando in this?
You got emotional because, again, they leverage
course.
legacy characters when they believe that they can benefit from it. And they say, oh, we don't want to do it too much. But it was crazy because we've all read the books. So we know what Luke is capable of later. And to see him kind of come and just tune everybody up and be the Luke that we've got in our head, that gets you emotional. But when you stand at a distance, you're just like, that was just a ploy. They just puppeted him onto the show and they're like, okay, ratings up. Keep going.
Yeah, they used him for the whole sake of getting Grogu back with Boba there, with Din and back to Boba. So that was the whole reason they even had him in the show, because they had to explain how he leaves and that he wants to leave. When Luke showed him Yoda's lightsaber and was like, make a choice, Yoda's lightsaber or the Beskar armor, and I obviously choose the armor, so he just Ubered him back with R2, and that was it.
Did you guys ever wonder about that? Like, what was the original intention of a Mando season 3? Because it feels like, to me at least, it seems like Mando season 2 was going to end with Din and Grogu going their different ways, and different stories were going to be developed farther down the line. And Mando season 3 would be back to just Mando. But it feels like an executive stepped in and said, hey, you need to keep these guys together, and we need to backtrack this like next year.
Let me explain something from a commercial standpoint that I think you'll appreciate. My wife purchased online Grogu a onesie for my 16-month-old son. And supposedly it was used, whatever, not poorly. It's something that mothers do. They swap and buy, blah, blah, blah. Supposedly it trades for like $150. I got a little Grogu bobblehead kind of thing for my Christmas tree. Grogu maketh the money for the casuals. Disney just went, get him. Like, forget your plans. Grogu, like, that's what happened, I believe.
You think Favreau had like a plan to develop a larger story beyond that, though? Like, I wonder what the original outlook looked like.
You could feel the disconnect, with like a dissonance in a story going in one direction, and then suddenly this dissatisfying conclusion kind of happened. And I was like, it's always the money that seems to like stop the story. Same thing as Skeleton Crew. You could feel that season 2 teaser. It's these money decisions, they just permeate into everything. And you can feel the little sick tendrils like Plagueis's fingers on your shoulder. You're like, oh, get away. But that's what's happening, I think.
I think so too. It's a big, crash grab for them. They make a lot of money with Grogu, rightfully so. But hopefully they can start to make money from good storytelling, and then they won't feel like they got to be stuck with these cheap tricks.
Grogu was a great character. Like, I like Grogu as a character, but the more time passes, the more he's coming off as like a novelty than anything else. Like a set piece than an actual character. And I would really like to see that developed. I know it's difficult because he's a baby, but he's the most interesting baby in the galaxy. So can we do something?
No, I agree.
They did with that, cloning blood episode with Werner Herzog, the German guy, who I love as a director and an actor. When he's like, I'm going to take blood from the baby or whatever shit he was doing. That was cool. But like he said, it's a road trip companion movie with no end. But if you did end that part of the arc where he gets to his destination, he should have, in my mind, been logically trained by Luke, and we found out about his past thanks to Ahsoka. Like he's like a little football. He gets handed off, but the other characters tell his story and his importance to the wider galaxy versus a sidekick for a bounty hunter who now can't die, seemingly, no matter how much he's shot because of his Beskar armor. Like, the whole thing's kind of jumped the shark, where the suspense of disbelief and the stakes are just like, where are we going anymore? That's for me personally.
You think with Favreau, we were going to sort of go get an exploration with Luke, maybe his own series? Because I know John he's very into the new technology, and everything he's with is like experimenting with that. And maybe he wanted to experiment with a feature film with Luke with, the partially digital face. But maybe Disney said, hey, no. I don't know. I just think that there's a lot going on there that's way more interesting than The Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm not saying I dislike those characters. I'm just saying that there's a more interesting evolution out there from what they set up at the end of Mando season 2. And the importance of Mando season 2 would still resonate with us to this day if they had stayed the course.
Yeah. And unfortunately, they did not.
It seems like they just forsake things for, like you said, the money, but also this obsession with cross-pollination where Boba Fett has to hang out. Well, he's a man, like, not really, but, he's got the Mando and the Mandos together, and they get in the armor together, and then they do the thing. But then they have to take Grogu, and they meet old characters. Dave Filoni's obsession with bringing out his original characters that he came up with. I get it. You got Embo, you got Ahsoka. You did those things. That's awesome. But we don't have to constantly circle back to these things, in my opinion.
That's why Balin was so refreshing.
Yes.
Because it was like finally something new. Theory, I don't think you ranked Ahsoka. Where do you put that?
You know what, man? I liked Ahsoka until it got to about episode 7. 7 and 8 were just Not good for me.
I struggle because I like Ahsoka in theory. I like the things that are happening in Ahsoka, but when you get into the actual scenes, I don't like it. If that
Let me
makes any sense
let me
whatsoever.
let me be real. I don't care about Ezra. I don't care about Sabine. I don't care about Kanan. I don't think those are interesting characters. I never connected with them. I was never able to connect with them. I don't know why. I'm sure I can figure out why if I spend time on it, but to be honest, I just don't have the interest. They never really captivated me. I'm interested in Ahsoka because she's Anakin's apprentice, and because she has a good character arc. But besides that, the other characters, the only thing I was there for was Ahsoka and Thrawn. Now, when I was watching, I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting because now you get Elsbeth and she is a witch. All right, cool. There's that element. It opens the door to that. But then we were introduced to Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati, and I'm like, holy shit. Okay, here are two Jedi that survived Order 66. They've gone off the path of the Jedi, but they're not fully dark. They're orange. And if we know anything about lightsaber colors, we know that orange is like in between, right? You're not yellow, you're not red, but you're like in the middle. You're still kind of dark, but you still kind of teeter on the light. It's like Mace Windu with the purple. He's not red, he's not blue, but he's like in the middle kind of. But
He has a rare alignment.
yeah, he's a rare alignment, and with the orange, it's interesting as well. And it's like these are two beings that have seen all that shit, and they've seen the destruction of the Republic. They've seen Order 66. They've survived it somehow, which means they had to be crafty. They had to be powerful. They had to be smart and badass. Okay, let's see more of it. And then in episode 6, I think it was, when Baylan is talking about, the idea of it, the weakness, the truth. Man, those were great lines. Those were things that really put me into the story and the character, and I wanted to find out more about him. And then they just veered off and they just made it super anticlimactic. They made it really simple. Thrawn became an absolute moron. Like, this is supposed
Yeah.
to be, Spock 2.0. They made him literally stupid, like making the dumbest decisions ever with how Ahsoka and Sabine were like and getting into the premises. And then also Ezra is there the entire time on that planet
And seemingly doing nothing.
and doing nothing. Like, you're telling me that Thrawn couldn't just send out his agents to go find him and capture him or kill him? Like, I don't know, dude. It's just weird. It
Yeah,
just seems so
Thrawn comes off
strange.
as inept when you see what Ezra is dealing with and you see that Thrawn hasn't made any moves to take him out. That's like not anything
No.
a real person writing for Thrawn would ever do. That would be like the first thing he took care of.
This is a Disney Thrawn. This is not heir to the Empire Thrawn. That son of a bitch was scary. The way they
Yeah.
wrote, the way Zahn wrote that guy was actually imposing, intimidating, logical, very smart, and not emotional. In this one, he was losing his shit. When Ahsoka was getting the upper hand on the most basic of things, he was like starting to get nervous. What the? That's not Thrawn.
What about the
Yeah.
Death Troopers? The
God,
70-minute
dude.
Death Trooper
Yeah,
fight.
you know what? That really pissed me off because it's like, at least we could have had something cool. You got the witches that could conjure up anything. Why don't we see, a little bit of the comic book where Vader fights Darth Maul? And you could have brought Darth Maul back in some sort of fashion. And I saw a lot of the wokies, the acolytes, trying to critique that, being like, why don't you bring back Darth Maul? Well, how about you get a stupid fight with a bunch of resurrected stormtroopers? The fucking like the most boring thing ever. Did you like that more? Or would you rather have seen a dope ass Darth Maul in some sort of a weird resurrected form come back and try to fight Ahsoka? I think that would have been much more entertaining if we're going to choose between the two. But let's just not even say we get any of that. Maybe something a little bit better, where Thrawn actually has like this imposing villain. Maybe, I don't know, Barriss comes back, the number one rival to Ahsoka. Maybe Asajj Ventress comes back because we know she's alive now. There are just so many more things that could have been done. It was like, they build it up good, and they get the fight between Ahsoka and Baylan. Okay, it builds tension. And then somehow Ahsoka ends up in the world between worlds, a concept I don't understand and I don't particularly like very much because I don't think time travel or the ability to intercept moments that have already passed in Star Wars really brings any validity to the impact that it's caused. Like, you can just now go back in this world and change shit. Like, what
That's
is that, dude?
That's the Galen Erso contingency plan
I
that
hate it,
they're
dude.
putting in there.
Yeah, I don't like
No,
it. I don't think George would have
It's
wanted
like a
that.
it's
multiverse.
cheap. It's
It's
cheap,
bullshit.
is what
It's
it
such
is.
It's such bullshit, dude. And then, it fell short. And the only intrigue in there for me was Balin's skull. And the way it opened with him and Shin with their orange lightsaber.
Great.
Bro, fuck, so cool.
Look, we've spoken about this, about these nebulous high concept setups like Dawn of the Force, understanding the start of the Force or the world between worlds. And what they have in common, I think, is that we care about character. And what the two compelling characters we've spoken about today, Balin Skull and Jod Nanawood, was they're characters where we don't know the ending of the story, but we want to flesh out because they're compelling, I believe, because they're people who are making the wrong choice, but you can identify that the choice is usually pragmatic survival, or they want to do something, and it makes you want to go down the rabbit hole. They're not Sith or Jedi, where it's not so
They
narrow.
need to do that with Thrawn too, because that's what
Yes.
he's like in Heir to the Empire. He's like he's very similar to Thanos in the way where in Infinity War, when Thanos explains his plan, in concept, it makes perfect sense. Like,
Everybody
just-
loved it.
Exactly. And that is what Thrawn is. Thrawn is like, we got rid of Palpatine. He was terrible. But the idea of the Empire as this ruling, governing force that can consolidate power in the galaxy is still correct. And if you allow me to control that, I will bring peace and order that Palpatine always promised. And I always thought that that was so compelling, because Thrawn would do these terrible things, but he would always remind you in the books, like, this is why this is necessary.
The right
This
reason,
is why
which is
what
so
we're doing,
fun. Yeah.
the greater good.
Right.
And
So
the
Yoda,
Thrawn
what
that
Yoda
we've-
espouses, you got to
Exactly.
sacrifice for the greater good. He's kind of Jedi, but he's doing it the wrong way. You could just taste it. Those characters. It's sorry, you get me all hyped about this, dude.
I know. Anyways, whatever. We were gonna watch that trailer or whatever to Lycan. Let's see here. Oh wow!
Oh, this is incredible.
That's a budget.
Let's move.
Oh shit! Cool, man. Sweet.
Someone cooked here.
Yeah, they should have called it the Badass Batch. Woo.
Yeah.
Looks good. Very
Was
nice.
that Omega Squad? Is that who it's based around? Or Delta? Which one is it? I love the Republic Commandos. They're so cool.
The game?
The class of trooper.
No, but did you play the game? You
Oh,
play
yeah.
as
Oh, I've watched the game on YouTube for the lore.
Here's what I keep noticing about you, and I think that this is just your beautiful lore brain taking over. Every time you say, I see a character, I enjoy them because they're expanding the lore of Disney, but you're enshrouding them in your own lore and tying connections, I think. So you're like there's, you know, Luke comes on screen and then you're a million theories and things are happening and you're kind of wanting them to be more of what you know from the lore. And so you're excited that they're a part of even the conversation or the media because it can expand more. Would you say that that's accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I love Legends and the expanded universe so much, those books and all the legacy comics, that when they hint at stuff like that, I can't help but get excited. I just can't.
I was
It's
the
it's
same, dude.
it's a part of me where when Luke shows up and he starts acting like he does in the books, I can't help it because I've dedicated so many days to those books, and just beyond even reading about them, but just like thinking about them and the philosophies of the characters and their approaches to the Force, I can't help but still get excited.
Yeah, it's the same. Like I think I mentioned this. My philosophy was people shit on midichlorians, which I didn't really mind. As I said many times, I like the science of understanding the Force. But like I loved that the expanded universe could take a high concept like that, and with a deft hand, a writer like was it James Luciano, whoever wrote
Yeah.
Plagueis, and then turn it into something tangible and fun. Like it didn't matter what happened, even if canon wasn't that great back in the day, the EU would swoop in and make it absolutely phenomenal.
They
I just don't
definitely
feel like we
would.
have the EU behind Disney doing the cleanup crew, if that makes sense.
I know. So someone said that Republic Commando should have been Halo and multiplayer. Yeah, it would have been cool.
That would have been so cool. I did play Halo as a kid. Halo 3.
I knew it was bad when Disney Star Wars was starting to justify bad projects instead of owning up to them. I feel as though they are drowning and taking us with them. Love you, boys. I think we read that one, right?
Yeah,
Can't wait for Vader 2. Read this one. We read this one. Last week, guys were talking about pet names, and I thought I would share my all black cat Plagueis. Also, I sent a super last week that got missed. Any chances to get that one answered? Much love. No, never. I hate you. I saw that one and I was like, hell no, I'm not answering this. It'd be great if you could have.
We talked about it
told
after
me.
the stream.
Yeah, instead of making me go fetch it for you, it would have been great if you could just write it here, or if you could rewrite it in the chat. That's weird that we missed it. We go through all of them, but it is possible. Sorry. Dash, when are you going to go back streaming in the darkness? Too bright.
I spoke to Theory about my camera because I'm using an old Logitech webcam, and so it's picking up the fluorescence horrible. Anyway, I promise you this. In the next, I don't know, I can't even pull the camera around. In the next week or so, I've got next to me a battery pack. The batteries run out. And so I was like, Theory, how do I fix this? And he's like, get this. So I'm going to get a better camera, a better setup. So thank you for enduring.
Are you going to paint the walls? Or
Dude,
do anything with the
just
lighting?
to my right, it's all black. I'm going to just turn, the other camera will turn and show the black again. This is not meant to be seen. Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. That's a big room. Shit.
It's not, this house used to be owned by a woman who had, and this is TMI, you know, like miniatures that you see in shop windows that are like full houses. Like she recreated some Lord of the Rings set stuff, like miniaturized.
Cool. Wow.
This is like a shed, and that's why it gets so hot. Is because she converted it, but she didn't insulate it, so it's big. That my God, I just cook like a Christmas turkey in here.
You can get an AC in there, no?
Yep, I'm going to get an
put it out
AC.
the window or something like that.
Yeah, I'll do that. But yes, it is quite a sizable room. Hence why I put all of those the noise cancellation on the walls, and they just turned yellow straight away. I'm like, God damn it!
Yeah. And once I started painting walls black, dude, you never go back. Seriously, it just looks so much better on camera. So much more like relaxing on the eyes. Anyways, remember in the D23 trailer from Mando movie, there were AT-ATs when Mando was riding the AT-RT. I'm guessing the Imperial Remnant will be in the movie.
Hope so.
Canada will become a territory of the U.S. before we get a good Star Wars movie or show. Maybe. It's possible. Who wins? Hercule Satan versus Ray Palpatine. Hercule W. Always Hercule, man. Hercule beats everybody. Alternative timeline discussion for you guys, says Alfonso Funk, the guitar pimp. What would happen in Shadow of the Empire if Xizor, and Leia...
Yeah, people crucify you for saying it wrong.
Yeah, I always said Xizor as a kid, so it just sticks with me.
Yeah,
and Leia joined forces, and they tried to rule the galaxy.
They do a pretty good job of ruling.
Yeah,
pretty badass team.
They do great.
They do well. They do good.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Good question. I mean, they'd probably depends, if Leia went off the deep end or not, or she's, they'd probably unite all of the different crime syndicates together, hopefully, and control all the underworld, and they'd all make a lot of money, and they'd probably all be in peace. Will N says, as far as video games, I've only played the older games like X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter, Shadows of the Empire, KOTOR, TOR, the Old Republic, Dark Forces, Rogue Squadron, Battlefront, and Force Unleashed. Are Fallen Order and Survivor worth playing? Yeah. As a fan of the old stuff, I have to say, yeah.
100%.
And Vader is sick in them.
Mm-hmm.
They get him so right.
Yeah. Roger Christian will be a guest at Rebel ScumCon in Texas this August. By the way, thanks for giving fans real attention in your conversations at these cons. Of course, you guys are the reason I'm here. So, for me to think that this is all me, that would be super egotistical and, like, I guess a typical YouTuber. No. You can never forget who got you here, man. So you guys, thank you for giving a shit about this IP, of course.
Some Ordinary Gooners. That's a great name.
What up, J. Kane? Sup, y'all? Theory, when you dropping that vid on the MegaCon plan? Gotta know what time to show up Saturday. Also, will you accept cash for sabers? Yes to all. Yeah, we just signed the contract today for MegaCon for a bigger booth. So we're going to have a giant one. We are extremely excited. We also signed the contract for Vancouver Fan Expo. And then after that, we're going to be doing potentially every single Fan Expo there is. So we'll be seeing you guys probably every month all throughout the States and Canada. And we're excited for that. So we just invested a lot in travel cases and stuff like that for all of the sabers, for all of the products, the merch, everything that we're going big this year and next year for hitting the conventions as well as expanding online. So you're going to see a lot of stuff from us. As far as making the video, yeah, probably, what is today, Thursday? I'll probably have a video out next week announcing everything, but we're going to be there on every single day that the convention is there, as we have a booth. We're contracted at the booth now, so we're going to have a very large booth, and I will, the team will be there all days, and I will be there all days, but there will be certain times that I will show up to do a planned full-on fan meetup and to get your saber signed and all that stuff for those who want that. So most likely, probably 12 p.m. is when the meetups will start. From what I've learned, that's been a pretty good time for everyone to show up. 12 p.m., 1 p.m. And to be honest, I usually say like as long as it goes for, and it goes right up until close. So with SpaceCon at Texas, I was there open to close, morning to night. But with this one, I'm going to have to get some work done earlier in the day and shoot some vlogs and stuff like that for the channel with Matthew while the boys are at the booth. And then I'll be there probably a couple hours after open. So most likely around 12 o'clock or 1 p.m. will be the fan meetups on all of the days. And we'll start it there. So you guys can start. You have a few hours to start lining up and stuff like that if you want that. Which we know last year we had a huge line. Say a prayer for me and my fam. I live in LA. We hope you're safe. We hope everyone in LA is safe. And it seems like the fires are starting to die down now, no? Or is it still going?
I'm not sure. I believe they're still going. Be safe, man.
That's horrible. I know. I saw pictures and I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. This is like just like
It's a big
Maui.
deal. It's huge.
How many people have lost their lives and homes? Are there any casualties?
Oh yeah, people have died.
Fuck, really?
Yeah, it's I think I just looked up the current stats. There's different sections that are burning, but it's tens of thousands of acres.
Yeah,
And
100-knot winds I read somewhere, which is
it's insane.
insane.
there's 27 confirmed deaths, 31 reported missing.
Oh, dude. And all the animals, and it's just
Yeah, that's not even accounted for.
Horrible way to go.
Stay safe, anybody affected, for real. Like, praying for you.
yeah. And then I talked to some other friends I have in LA, and they're like, "We don't even smell fire." It's like, all right, what? It's like some parts of LA, like they don't even notice a difference.
Yeah.
at all.
No, they do. No, there's parts out there where, the sky doesn't look different. and
Literally.
then-
Talking to a friend of mine a few days ago, and he was leaving the Universal Studios lot. He was working on a new show there. And
That's
he's like,
in
"Man,
North Hollywood, though, right? Over the hill. So it's got like the coast and then up, and then it's got the blanket of mountain, and then
Yeah.
Universal and North
Yeah.
Hollywood's up there. So he's
yeah,
probably it hasn't, because it started south, right? It hasn't crossed
Yeah.
over Hollywood Hills.
I just,
Yeah, he was looking at the sky. He's like, it's another beautiful day in LA today. We don't even notice anything. It's crazy." I'm like, wow.
this says that LA is about 318,000 acres, and what's being burned right now is like 14,000 acres, 24,000 acres. So, it's obviously not inconceivable that people would be unaffected completely.
Very sad.
Yeah, extremely sad. I just hope. I hope
Mad
they get
love to
it
everyone
out.
in LA, everyone in California. We're praying for you. Hey, Dylan. Han Solo says, "What's up, fellas? In Attack of the Clones, when Obi-Wan told Anakin that Padme was happy to see him, do you think Obi-Wan was Loki giving Anakin the green light to try and smash?" No, I think he was just saying what he needed to so that Anakin would calm down. Because he was
I
like
mean,
getting deep into his thoughts there.
come on. Think of, the Jedi physical stuff isn't forbidden. So he could tell that Anakin was getting squirrely. He's like, come on. Come on. Anakin was like, I'm going to get real weird with it and forceful. And he's like, whoa. Maybe not that. Hold up.
Wait.
Sorry,
Do you think?
sorry, my lady.
Don't
She's
look at me
I
like
don't
that
the way you're looking at me.
because it makes me feel uncomfortable. Sorry, my lady.
The fact that she let him hit after that, like that should have been a shutdown. But Luke's like, no, he knows what he's doing.
I made a video a while ago about how she's racist.
I love it.
She
I
is.
wanna hear more.
Dude, no, look, she was like getting turned on when he was talking about the women and the children and
Oh yeah, that
and
scene
he like
is-
slaughtered them, and she's like stroking his hair and like coddling him and stuff like that. But then as soon as he like slaughters human younglings, then it's a problem.
That's all.
I sort of
I
looked
thought
at that
sand
scene
people
in
are
Attack of the
humanoid.
Sand
They are
people,
humanoid.
Yeah, under
humanoid, but
think about Asherad head. Like they're actually. Oh, I guess we
Well,
don't.
he
use
was
them.
an exception.
We call them
She doesn't
sand
know that.
people. People is in quotes.
exactly sand people, essentially Middle Easterns.
Oh
She's
no, that's crazy. I made this video about in KOTOR. It's probably the right thing to do to wipe out that Sand People enclave because they're affected by the dark side and the star map and something. Anyway, I was just playing devil's advocate, weighing it up because in fantasy in games, that's the only place that you can have fun and you can play devil's advocate and it's all good, as you guys know. My ex-roommate messaged me and goes, there's something going on in the Middle East and it's very irresponsible. And I'm like, Middle East? What does that have to do with? And then I realized he's the one making the link. I never even knew that and I was like, what?
Let it
That
be
more reflects on you than me, dude.
Literally, let it be the activists that will try and align real world shit with something that's science fiction.
Yeah, he was one I found out later, but I was just like, I was so disappointed that he was like grilling me. And I'm like, I didn't even make the connection. So you're who's the real bad guy here that you're saying
Yeah,
they're exactly like the guys from the Middle East? I'm like,
I
no,
can't
they're
even
not.
bother. I can't even bother spending energy around those people. Done it too much in my life. Life's too short, man. What up, Gravity? He says this is my favorite show on YouTube. Love having Dash back. Would be fun to get Kyle Newman on sometime and talk about how to fix our beloved Star Wars. Thanks. Who's Kyle
Thanks.
Newman?
Thanks,
Yeah, I don't
Gravity.
know.
I just want to say that, you know, you're in good hands. You don't need Kyle Newman, who I don't know who that is. You need more Dash. So thank you. I'll be here. Okay. Kyle may or may not. Dash is here.
There we go.
Who is Kyle Newman, by the way?
I don't know. What up, Nina? Can't wait to finally meet you at MegaCon Theory. Hey, awesome. Yeah, it's going to be great. It'll be fun. What up, AJ? Miss M. Skywalker says, what if the daughter killed the son on Mortis?
I don't think she'd ever do that.
That'd be so hilarious. Anakin's just so
Powerful.
light side and zen. He's like becomes a hippie. He's like, I don't want to fight anymore. Clone Wars, Schmone Wars.
Theory and Coach Greg collab when? Yeah, I'm down.
Please.
Yeah.
Please do that.
Yeah, we like each other. We're cool. I've talked to him on the phone before. Is Dash Star's old YouTube Lore Star? Change name?
No, that's a fact free, right? Or
No. So what happened is when Z took over Dash Star, because I'm Dash, I didn't want him to call himself Dash Star or anything, even though I think it still says Dash in the blurb. I've asked him to remove it back in the day. I said, how about you call yourself Lore Star, because you're still telling lore and you can keep the star part of the name. But yeah, please rebrand. Otherwise people were confused. They're like, where the hell's Dash? What are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, you need to change the name. But that channel doesn't exist anymore. He's changed it again to Beyond Knowing.
You guys ever heard of a YouTuber Star Wars reading club? He's been at 11 years, unique guy and great storyteller. Yeah, I've seen him around.
Was he the guy that said, what does Palpatine do in his free time, or Vader? And I was like, that's a good title.
No, that's Lore Man.
Okay. Yeah.
AKA Fact Free.
Is he fact free now? Let me look.
Yeah.
No, he had Thrawn, didn't he? Star Wars Reading Club as a avatar. Or am I just doing...
With red eyes.
Yeah, okay.
Roxy says, Dash, I just want to say I'm happy you're here now. I didn't know you before. You're a cool guy and you have the same messed up sense of humor as me.
Thank you, Rossi. I think that's a compliment, dude. I thought my sense of humor was nice.
Rossi's a good guy.
Demure.
So supportive. Thanks, Maddox. Thanks, Mojat. Will we see you at Rebel ScumCon? Maybe I'll try to get in. I'll email them and see what they say.
Actually, can I say something about that real quick? Remember that dude that I just mentioned that was having a go at me about sand people?
Yeah.
In the Middle East?
Yeah.
He was my roommate for 2 minutes when I lived in Alabama. We worked for the same company, Curse.com, the gaming company. And he was like, back when Wikipedia they didn't separate the canon from EU or Legends. And I wanted to make just a pure Legends website. I can't remember. But anyway, he was a coder, so he said, I'll do it. But then his big idea was, he goes, you should make a website. And I swear to God, this is true, called rebelscum.com, and it'll be a porn site. I'm like, that's a terrible idea. Like, if people found out I made that, I would just be so cooked. But yeah, there you go. Don't put that screen on.
Thanks.
Don't do it. I can see your hand moving. Don't time out me.
I actually wasn't even looking for anything. I just didn't know what to say to add to that. But yeah.
I hope I haven't ruined the con.
No.
I can't watch anymore.
What's up, man? What's up, Tim? Another stupendous Dash Theory. I've been looking forward to this. Much love to you three. I always love being here, and it always makes work better. Guys, would you like it if we did, we do these live streams every Thursday. But then we also do like a recap video. It's like 20 minutes long and it's funny and it's edited. And I just can have my editor do that. If you're down for that, like, you can always find the recap and we'll just call it like, I don't know, we'll start with episode 1, right? So that like last week will be episode 1. And, I don't know, just call it recap or some shit. Something like that.
I like
the
it.
snippets, dude. I was watching them and I was like, that's so clever that you read out the article, there's a discussion, but it becomes its own video on Theory Plus. Like I was amazed how well they came out. I was like, oh, yeah, that makes
I was
sense.
too.
Maybe we should get a pile of links before these streams and give them to you, and then you can read them out so that they're set videos for the week as well for people who miss out on the stream.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. So we have it on Plus, the little snippets, and then like a whole 3-4 hour whatever live stream compiled into like 20, 30, 40 minutes. Just kind of the hot bits and the funny bits put in there. I think that would be entertaining for people who don't have time to watch the whole thing, but still get to hang with us.
Absolutely. I like it.
Yeah. I'm never going to say anything gnarly again because it's going to show up in a video.
It's just all Dash.
Yeah, just said stupid stuff. Just the word cancel on my face and me going.
Yeah, literally. See you at MegaCon on day 1. All right, looking forward to it, Brizzle. We already have a lot of people that are messaging us being like, we're going to be there. Like, can you book this saber for us? And we're like, hey, we're not holding anything, man. First come, first serve. In your movie room, you should have G fighters from the ceiling to have more effect. Are you going to come back to SpaceCon? That was the wrong time to do it. Why was that the wrong time to do it? I don't know what G fighters are. But yeah, I'll be back at SpaceCon next year. Well, I guess this year. Interesting. Why isn't Bob Iger doing anything to fix this mess? He has to be feeling the heat now, given that they are facing apathy en masse. What's he doing? SC and the Acolyte are walking L's. What is Bob doing? Well, the only reason SC is an L is because of the Acolyte. No one gives shit anymore. As for Bob, I mean, what are any of them doing since The Last Jedi? Really?
Scrambling.
Yeah.
Blaming, getting really mad and getting
Canceling
mass
projects.
projects. Yeah.
Absolutely losing
I
it.
hate to be a fly on the wall to see those meetings go down.
Oh, I would love to be there for the highlights. I imagine the meetings themselves are the most boring thing ever.
Project 501st says, hey, Theory, hope your day has been well. Thanks, man. It's pretty good. 20-year anniversary this year for episode 3. What's your favorite phase clone armor? Probably phase 2, but you know what? Whenever I see phase 1, it just holds such a special memory for me because of Attack of the Clones. I was younger. And then also because of the 2D Clone Wars show.
I love phase 1. It's
That's
just
with
so
the
iconic.
wing thing on the head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just being a kid, going to see Attack of the Clones, seeing that for the first time, seeing the clone gunship for the first time with the freaking lasers that just cuts the droideka like in half. Yeah, phase 1.
Aerodynamic. Love it. It's like a Centurion.
Yeah. So, anyways.
When are we going to get another set piece that even comes close to the like Geonosian arena battle in Attack of the Clones? Just being a kid watching that, it was insane.
I know. It was a good time. I don't know if we'll ever see it again. Maybe one day.
I was freaked out by those arena beasts. I was like, holy shit, they're not messing around.
No, they were awesome. It was like, wow, it made the galaxy feel so scary.
Are you going to do a rewatch of Andor before season 2? Do you feel any differently about about the show now? Guys, I'd love to, and I know there's, the core audience here right now and Star Wars is slow or whatever, so we only have a few 1,000 watchers, but please don't believe the bullshit if there's anyone that's talking shit about me or whatever and like trying to spin this narrative. I never said I didn't like Andor, that I hated the show. In my reviews about it, I said that I like the show. It's a good show. I just found it to be a little bit slow. So, I keep having to correct the rhetoric that's out there about me regarding the show, and it's it's just by a bunch of Acolyte fans, essentially, like that just want to like rub some fucking dirt and say oh, bricks and screws and take that out of context too. But I liked the show. The show was fine. It was just slow. It was just a little bit boring. Doesn't mean it was bad. Just means it wasn't very exciting or engaging for me. That's all. But the story and the acting and everything else was presented well, and I didn't mind it. But it was just a slow show for me. So no, probably won't be rewatching season 1. But I feel the exact same way about it that I did when it came out, and that it's a fine show. It shows, the bits before A New Hope and getting the Death Star plans and all that, and getting the money to defund the police, essentially, to fund the Empire. Not that the Empire is the police, Jesus Christ. But yeah, it was fine.
What
Nothing
did that
really bad to
feel
say
like,
about
though,
it.
dude? I always wanted to know. When I saw that thing, I couldn't believe it because out of all the things that you've probably said, all of the criticism where you're like, this is my opinion.
Yeah.
Did you just say, you know what? I think screws and bricks like take me out of the Star Wars universe. It doesn't, the aesthetic, like when I saw the playground and the suburbs and at Atten, I was kind of like, that's a little too close to home. I can imagine if I said something like that, like you say, bricks and screws, did you go to bed and wake up and just this unholy shit show where people were trying to make this, like you were a huge villain and you're like, it's bricks and screws, it's my opinion? Or you're just like, well, whatever. Because it was big enough for me to see it on my radar for a while.
No, everyone saw it, man. Everybody said it was blown into. But I mean, with stuff like that, not to derail a show, but yeah, I don't know. I'm used to it at this point. Like anything I say is going to be blown out, and now I know kind of how to use that to my favor. So, no, when I said that, I didn't think it would be a thing. When I do my live streams, I don't think that they're going to be clipped and like put out there on whatever, because I just speak freely and like whatever comes to mind I say. So no, with that one, I mean, I was like literally deep into all the architecture for Vader Episode 2 for the catacombs, and God, we were going with so many different artists and doing so many different renditions and tests and stuff like that. And one thing I was trying to constantly convey to them that was we want to make it like how Ralph McQuarrie made art. And I was speaking with someone who was the first-hand guy, Paul Bateman, to Ralph McQuarrie, very talented artist, very talented guy. And he was telling me exactly how Ralph would look at creating the Star Wars universe, and something that George told him, which was to never have anything that reminds you of Earth. Never have
Wow.
anything that reminds you of today's world, this world that you live in. You always want to feel like this is literally in a galaxy far, far away, somewhere else. And so if you have bricks that aren't, and I even said it in the video, aren't smooth sandstone like the ones which I showed in the video of Episode 2 when Anakin and Padme are walking on Naboo, and you have like a construction site bricks that are just put in there like fucking a shitty brick wall, it's not even done yet, and you have screws like you could find at any hardware store with the like a Phillips screw, it takes you out of it. And that was the point that I was making, was to tell Star Wars you have to make everything not skip a beat. And if you're taken out for 1 second, then you've not done your job to tell this story in the way that George would have wanted. And so bricks and screws, yeah, you want to make sure that you are kept in that immersion. But of course, the people who were weekend Star Wars fans, and probably all those people like the Acolyte, they wanted to take that and twist it, and everyone tries. Those people always try to bring me down, but good luck.
I had no idea
trying.
that you were trying to do that while you were working. You were trying to harken back to the way Lucas and Ralph McQuarrie wanted Star Wars to look, and that's where your mind was at. I always knew that it was just one little clip, and that if anybody dedicated any time whatsoever, that they would realize the point you were trying to make. It was it was an absurd criticism and just a snippet. And I can only imagine the things that myself and Dash say that if we had the size of your audience would be just.
I said that to Theory years ago. I said, as long as you're number one, heavy is the crown. They'll come. Can you imagine? I get comments on like my channels now that someone's like, hey, I love the Shmi comment. People who hate me,
Yeah.
oh, I would get roasted. Two things
Yeah.
quickly. One, did any of you know how Earth technically exists in the Star Wars universe? At the end
I
of
hate that.
Skeleton Crew, I know, I don't like it. When I saw the moon, I was like, oh, please don't be like an Earth. Please don't. Like, I had that horrible sinking feeling of playground suburbs. No, don't. Like, it just was too close. Everything was bringing me too much into real world, and it was messed up. The second thing is, what a lot of people may not realize unless you're a creator or maybe you have, is the bigger somebody is on the internet, and it takes a lot of guts. I say a lot of guts to put yourself out there, but to be constantly ridiculed, etc., at Theory's level. The boon of attacking Theory, which I've honestly, since I've done this podcast, I watched a video the other day that was just dedicated to shitting on Theory, and I was amazed at how much digging they did. Anyway, the boon to shitting on the biggest people or whoever, the bigger they are, let's say it takes me 5 minutes to construct a mean tweet that has a shot at Theory about bricks. I might get 5% of his audience subscribe to me and say, screw Theory, or 2%, but it took me 5 minutes to garner 5% of people that may not like Theory, or you know what I mean? So it's such a cheap and easy way to garner an audience.
Low-hanging
dark
fruit.
side. It's dark side. Yeah.
Yeah, it's low hanging fruit at the end of the day. But then what do you become? You're not a content creator. You're just someone that this is. I'm your obsession. This is your claim to fame. This is what you want to do. Okay, enjoy. I guess I'm paying everyone's bills nowadays.
It's
fine.
not building
I
an
don't-
audience. It's just gossip.
Well, yeah, but it's. I mean, I could destroy those in with one tweet or one video, and I know how it goes because I've done it before without that intention, and then I ended up doing that, and then I always had to end up being like, I don't support death threats and this and that to people, because it's like when I didn't even have anything to fucking do with it, I'm just like protecting myself, being like, man, fuck this guy. But at the end of the day, dude, it's just those are people, those are the minority. At the end of the day, I still am the biggest Star Wars channel on Earth. I have over 1.2 billion views. I've loved everywhere I go at all the conventions, and that's all I need. The minority of loud people on Twitter that want to say this or that for 2 weeks and run with it and have a joke or whatever, it just helps me with marketing. It just boosts my brand at the end of the day. Gets more people talking about me. I'm staying relevant more because of them. So
Which is wild, right? That your
I don't
face
mind.
actually helps. Like now your face is so synonymous with you, Star Wars. If you put your face in a thumbnail, the videos do exceedingly well.
Yeah,
just
dude,
because of that fact.
even on my channel, I if I put my face in a thumbnail, it'll do astronomically better than actually talking about Star Wars. If I didn't put my face in the thumbnail, it's wild. It is crazy. It's like become like the Asmongold of Star Wars, or the Moist Critical of Star Wars, or pop culture, or I don't know. I don't know what it's transformed into, but here we are, and I am so indebted to my followers and the people that have brought me here to this level, and I'm going to keep going with it. I'm going to keep being unapologetic and keep speaking my mind and fighting for the people and being a voice for change, hopefully, for Star Wars, to bring it back to what it was. And frankly, I don't give a shit what people say. So I'm here and I'm not leaving.
Yeah. Well, thank you for bringing Stoops and I into your community. There's so much great energy here. We enjoy ourselves. I'm speaking for Stoops. Isn't that right, Stoops? He's nodding.
Yes.
I'm honored to be able to do the show with new friends that I have. It's great. This is the
Real
best
Star
thing
Wars
that could have
fans.
came out of the explained situation and the bullshit that I dealt with that guy for 8 years. So it all comes full circle. So that's great.
Big blessings.
Yeah. Theory, I messaged you on Instagram to send you a Lego set as a gift. That's very nice of you. I'd have to go through my requested folder, which, as you can imagine, gets quite full every time I refresh it. So that's very kind of you, though. Thank you. I'll make sure to go through it and try to find it.
Check your request folder, Stoops. I've been sending you Sopranos memes. I swear to God. I sent him the Theory, and I'm like, I'm going to find Stoops. I'm just going to send him.
Yeah.
I'm like 2 episodes away from finishing the first season, and it is so fucking good. I love watching these mobsters deal with everyday troubles, and these people that are just on such a dark path attempt to do the right things in like little situations. It's great.
It's a
I'm on
dark
season
comedy.
5 already of Sopranos. Almost done, man.
What do
Almost
you
done.
guys think is like the best season? I've seen online people say season 2 is like the peak.
Is that Richie Aprile? I like Ralphie.
I like Ralphie too. He made
Is that later?
he made it so
Later.
interesting. And
Okay.
like,
Each season, say Tony's mom really dominates season 1 and his conflict with Junior. Well, that's
Ugh.
ongoing. But each season kind of has a quote unquote antagonist, a foil for Tony. And so that's how you kind of in your head, you delineate it by going, okay, like
Gotcha.
theories on Phil Leotardo right now, aren't you?
well, yeah, season 5 just started, so all of them got out of jail. All the old gangsters.
Yeah.
It's
so
sort
he's
of
on the Phil.
like Breaking Bad in that,
Yes.
sense, where the first season is like the establishment of the world and the players, and then you have the foils and the antagonists introduced as the seasons progress.
I don't know.
So are
Yeah,
they
season,
just
season 5 is a totally different feel already. I feel like they've I don't know. Everything's so different now. A dynamic with everybody is so different. So we'll see where it goes. We're in good hands. More Dash is always a good thing. Kyle Newman directed Fanboys and is a true Star Wars fan and disgusted by the direction Disney Star Wars. Oh, right. Kyle Newman. Jeez. Yeah, forgive me. I would love to have him on the channel. That'd be great.
He commented on your video, right?
Yeah, he tweeted me. Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. Sorry. It's so many names I sometimes got to remember. Hey, Theory, what do you think of the other Star Wars creators who are creating What If, and basically were inspired by you, such as Pente Patrol Star Wars Folklore, Star Wars Galaxy? Oh, I don't know if they were inspired by me or not, but cool.
I love it. I think it's so cool, and a lot of times way more interesting than anything we're getting from Disney. I think it's great.
Love from California. Cheers, boys. Stay
Back at
safe.
ya.
man. Thanks, Sandwich. OG and prequel trilogy watch party sometime. Yeah, all 3 of us would be fun.
Please.
A bit off topic, but did you see the new secret level Warhammer 40k cinematic? And they shall know no fear. It's incredible. I have not, Michael.
Nope. I'm too scared to take on another big franchise, and Warhammer is supposedly like deep as fuck.
I'm with Dash. That's exactly how I feel.
Mojat, what's up, dude? He says, I've completely let go of hoping Star Wars can get better. Vader 2 and 3 are the only things I'm excited for. Didn't watch SC, not watching Andor, Ahsoka, Mando. Much love, Theory, Strength Theory when. Yeah, I've been focusing on this channel, Dragon Ball Theory, and Theory Sabers mainly. And of course, the Vader fan film, as always, in the background. But by the way, speaking of Vader episode 2 and 3, you guys know we're funding that thing through Theory Sabers alone. And we appreciate all the support you've been giving us, and can't wait to see you at the conventions and all the new things we have coming. It's really turned into like a massive passion of mine. I'm truly passionate and happy and excited to constantly improve on it and make better products and bring more to the table. That being said, for the next few hours left only, we have the buy one, get one. So you buy one, you get a free mystery saber. The lowest tier will be an SD RGB. So that's like the lottery. It could be a SD RGB, it could be a SNV Pro or a Profi, and with mixed sound font packages. So until 3 a.m. EST, so another 5.5 hours. TheorySabers.com. Hey, fellas, in the EU, who do you think was the best Jedi in the Luke's first class in the Jedi Praxium? Who was the worst of the survivors? This will be a question for 2 of you because I'm still reading.
Oh, that's tough.
When it comes to good and best and worst, do you mean like as students, or who do you just think is a punk?
say
Because I'm just going to
Cade?
straight up say I hate Kip Duron with a passion, with his sun
I
crusher.
already hate that guy. I already don't like him.
Oh, and they gave him such a compelling backstory. He grew up in a spice mine. Like, come on, how much do you love Bane when you hear it grows up in a mine? Duron, you're just like, screw you, buddy. You think he's so hot.
Yeah.
The best character, that's hard to say. I like Corin Horn just because of obviously he's such an egotistical 40-year-old prick that is so flawed. But there's nobody who I think really stands out. What about you, Stoops?
I think Corin Horn is really good. I also Kyle Katarn is cool. Mara Jade is obviously another big one, and she has a lot of development in the series. Those are the big ones. I'm a little bit later, but like I really like Jaina and Jason too, especially as time is developing. And Anakin Solo has always been one of my favorites. I just talked about how he actually dies in a recent video, which is super messed up. But I don't know, probably
like
Kip.
Jason most.
Jason's good. Jason
is
doesn't
first
become
class,
great
though.
until Titus, though.
This is
I don't
first
think.
class, he said. So this is like the clone guy, Dorsk, that gas miner from Bespin, the old man. Like this is a ragtag bunch he's talking about, not the later, when Luke's kind of got good at training. This is when he just grabs some, I don't want to say hobos off the street, but he kind of, it was the odd bunch.
It's the first class.
Yeah.
Probably Mara Jade, honestly. I like her training under Palpatine and how she sort of competed with Vader. I always thought that was interesting.
No, you're right. And she was so like, she just kind of went and left as she pleased. She didn't need the training. She was amazing.
No, she really didn't.
Huge
she was
fan.
like, I'll take this as I go.
Have you seen Skywalker Stories? Yep. Yeah, he does the AI little story clips. They're good. Entertaining.
Yeah, after I made my first attempt at an AI clip thing for 30 seconds, I actually like messaged and said like, how the hell do you do this? I don't know if the AI guys would actually give up their secrets. I feel like their whole edge, maybe some will, maybe won't.
No, I'll tell you right now. It's so essentially there's a bunch of different ways. We're developing a way right now with Film at Crossroads that looks like the real deal, like the mouths move and everything. And it's not just static photos, but essentially you go to Midjourney, you try to create a photo that you want, a bunch of different photos you want, and then you throw them into some sort of a AI program. There's a bunch of different ones. I forgot the name of one of the main ones, and you just tell it what to do. You say make it speak that or some shit. Yeah,
with Leonardo AI, and it was just all the kids when I tried to say like young Jude Law as a Jedi, they had Yoda ears. I'm like, what? And it was like just a creepy thing. And I'm like, maybe my
some will just spawn TIE fighters.
Yeah, so you got to be really good at prompts with how you do the AI image. Usually you can do that in Midjourney, and then from there you take it and then you put it into an actual like AI video animator, and you like tell it what to do. And essentially, it's just like you get like one image, and then you put it into this other program, and you prompt that program, and then you get your scene.
I think I'm getting there. I did the thing where it's like you write out the scene, then you put it in the first AI program and say, pretend you're an amazing animator that's doing the plot breakdown for an animation slides, and then it'll go like panning camera, overhead shot or whatever, a cowboy shot on a distant world, blah blah blah. So it does pretty well, but yeah, it takes more skill. I don't know, people are going to roast me for that word. Then you initially think, you can't just write anything. Luke Skywalker's epic.
It's duel. No. Look, you need to use AI to your service. Essentially, you can even ask ChatGPT, be like, give me a bullet point form list of how to create an AI scene. First by grabbing an image in Midjourney, give me the correct prompts for this, and this, and then putting it into what program do you recommend? It'll give you a list of programs, and then you just basically you're not reinventing the wheel. You're kind of just asking questions. You just have to know how to ask. and then it'll give you the answers you seek.
I always say please, in case the AI takes over. Hopefully they remember.
I do that
and
too.
They'll kill me last.
Yeah.
I do that too.
It's like that scene in The Joker. It's like, you can go home, whatever his name was. You were always nice to me.
Give me a little kiss on the forehead. I'll be
Yeah.
like, thank you, T800.
Yeah.
Oh.
But everyone else around you. Love catching the streams. What things in and out universe do you see in the Filoni Thrawn movie? Seems to be the best thing they have going. Are they making a Filoni Thrawn movie? I didn't know this. That's news to me. I had no idea.
I'm not going to judge that until I see the second season of Ahsoka. I think that is going to tell us exactly where we're headed. And if it doesn't, I'll be very, very scared.
I think we all will be. We all will be. Oh, look, if they just need to do it how Thrawn was originally written in the 90s, no more this Disney era Thrawn, even how he was written in the in the new books.
Well, is just no one going to check on him on Dathomir? Like the New Republic is just going to be like, we'll just let him amass power and
Well, he obviously dies, right? Or something happens.
No, I mean like currently, dude. Like as of the end of Ahsoka, like he arrives to Dathomir.
I know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. There's going to be some sort of a combination with. There has to be with Cal Kestis and all that shit. You know, has to be because of Marin.
Yeah, and Ezra will not use his lightsaber for some reason, and then suddenly use his lightsaber.
Yeah, what the heck was that about?
I don't know, dude.
Fuck. Hey, Theory and the boys, I got the Shadow Hunter delivered this week. Phenomenal saber. Absolutely love them. I got a question. Do you think if the Mando movie fails, do you think Lucasfilm will go on a 10-year hiatus? No. 10-year hiatus with it? No. They're already going on too many hiatuses. The issue isn't taking time off. Their issue is hiring the competent writers that they need to take this franchise to the level that they want, where it's profitable.
Quality control.
What do you even do if that movie fails, though? Like, you would have to guarantee a win after that. And the only thing I see is that they would go straight to an Old Republic movie, and they would beg for that to bail the them out, the fans to come bail them out.
Yeah.
That's what I would see happening if Mando fails.
I see a solo Grogu movie for kids so they can sell just milk merch for like 3 years. That's it.
When you said solo, I was thinking Han Solo teaming up with Grogu, but no, it's Grogu alone.
Anybody teams up with Grogu. That's all they have a mandate.
Palpatine and Grogu film. That would be sick.
Plagueis
and Grogu.
Give the fans what they want.
Yeah, give them what they want. Been loving the stream, says Soiling Soul. You guys inspired me to get into EU books. Finished the first book today, Path of Destruction. Loved it. Gonna finish Bane Trilogy. What other EU books would you guys recommend? I mean, you know what me and Stoops are gonna say here.
Plagueis Bane.
So there's this audiobook called Red Harvest. I always get shit now. I'm just such a dick. Red Harvest, Death Troopers for your horror, Darth Maul Lockdown, Shadow Hunter as well, Darth Maul book, audiobook. Get into the audiobooks. They
want the old stuff. They want the Bane. They want the Rule of Two establishment.
You got to branch out into Red Harvest sometime. I'm just to the day I die.
FX Star-Lord, we love you, bro. We hear you. We see you guys. Handshakes all around. Right on, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
The Royalty Gaming, my boy. Member and all. If everyone is able to touch the Force, then those in the light could become Force Ghost. So where the hell was Shmi when Anakin was anal blasting the younglings with his... Dude, what the hell? Oh my god! No.
So there's a rule.
Oh
Like
my
if you're gonna say
God.
something messed up, you don't do two things. You don't put sex, like death and younglings and like sex together. You can only pick one. Not with kids.
Oh my
Jesus.
god, dude!
There's too many things
Jesus.
together.
Fuck. No. No.
Love the thick boy Balin profile picture. That's how I see him in my. That dude
Thick
was
boy
as
Balin.
wide as he was tall.
TBB, thick boy Bailey.
What happened to Kenobi's lightsaber in Attack of the Clones? It gets captured, so I presume Dooku took it. Did he give it to Grievous? Is it in Grievous's coat in Revenge of the Sith? I'd have to look at that scene again.
I don't remember.
I don't
Cool
think
would
it
that
is.
be?
Because he
If they
has
forced-
Anakin's and he has Obi-Wan's.
What if they force pull to their sabers back in Revenge and Obi gets his old lightsaber? That would have been a cool moment. You'd be like, oh,
That
my
would
God.
have been cool.
Here, hold on.
What's the situation, Captain?
What situation?
Anakin Skywalker.
What did you say?
Anakin Skywalker. I was expecting someone with your reputation to be a little older.
General Grievous. You're shorter than I expected.
Jedi scum.
We have a job to do, Anakin. Try not to upset him.
I would certainly like to.
Try not to.
General Grievous. You're shorter than I expected.
Anakin Skywalker. I was expecting someone with your reputation to be a little older.
General Grievous. You're shorter than I expected.
Somebody had a fun afternoon.
Yeah, I can't even find the original, man. This is stupid. Is this it?
At him.
Your lightsabers will make a fine addition to my collection.
Not this time.
No.
And this.
It was
Shock T.
Anakin Obi-Wan's. Can't even tell really.
I forgot that Shark T just bit the dust in the deleted scene, so he probably
Yeah, I
has
think that's hers on the far left.
Whew. Good spot.
Let's see. Anyways.
Not this time. And this time you won't escape.
R2.
Crush them! Make them suffer! Stay at your stations! Don't bother with them! Keep the ship in orbit! You lose, General Kenobi!
Looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
Time to abandon ship.
It's just hard to turn away when it's. Yeah. I don't know. It's like real Star Wars, man.
When lightsabers were cool, when they cut through things.
Yeah, when Star Wars was Star Wars and the Force was the Force.
I loved back then. I remember feeling a bit kind of deflated by the droids fighting. So those Magna Guards showing like they could give him a bit of trouble. I loved that when the head came off and I first saw it and he kept fighting. And just the way they moved, I was like, holy shit. Holy shit. Not to mention, like, how hard it would have been for Ewan McGregor as a young actor to fill the shoes of Alec Guinness so flawlessly. Nobody's ever said he's shit. Back in the day, even,
Yeah.
like embraced by the fandom would be so different. I mean, look at Solo.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
I know. Crazy. Crazy. I don't know. Thanks, CTMZ. Buy a saber, be a neighbor. TheorySabers.com. BOGO only for another 5 hours. Thank you, Rossi. Rossi's the best. Best hype man. Did Mace's lightsaber naturally turn purple? Well, no, in Legends, he went to a planet where he essentially had to go through his own little mission. He's like journey, where there were these like sentient rock beings, and they were essentially made of rock. And anyways, he's gifted one of the crystals of that planet. Harun Kal, I think it was called.
You're correct.
Yeah. When it comes to lore about the prequels and originals, I studied that the most. I find it the most interesting and like meaningful. Even with the punch clock at work, I say thank you just to cover all my bases. Thanks, Anthony. Episode 1, Qui-Gon touched Jar Jar and said, relax, when in the water scene. Then Obi-Wan said, you overdid it. Jar Jar was then sedated. What happened here? He probably made Jar Jar relax too much, and he went to sleep when he was trying. He wanted to keep him awake so that he could give him concise directions to get out of there, but he went nap time.
Wasn't it a I thought it was like a wry reference to the Vulcan pinch from Star Trek, because he like does the same.
Oh, it might
kind
have
of
been,
thing.
yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Dash brought the sex appeal the Star Boys needed.
Let me tell you
Are we-
something, baby. Wait till you see Stoops on camera. This guy is glorious. He's going to be oiled up
No.
like a Greek god.
Oiled up.
For your amusement. He's going to be like literally in a Greek, like he's going to be on Mount Olympus on a set, oiled, wearing the robes. He's basically an Adonis.
No pressure.
It'd be so funny if you came next week just oiled up. You're like,
Oh,
this,
yeah.
this what you want?
Anybody here coming to our booth at MegaCon? Stupendous Wave will also be there.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Oil
sir.
optional.
Thank you, CTMZ. Thank you, Jessica. Just had a 90-pound mole removed from. Oh no!
Oh,
Congratulations.
Oh, what are you talking about here?
it's a man's wife's honor.
These were the old days of what I have them whacked. Grievous has one of their sabers in the final fights. Yeah, he does. He has Anakin's, I believe it is. Is it true that bullets are more effective at killing Jedi? And if so, are you telling me that a Navy SEAL or soldier can kill a Jedi? Damn, the Sith could have just used an M4 to kill the Jedi. No, I don't know where you got that information, but you know, blaster bolts are more, I'd say, faster and more deadly than bullets. And if Jedi can like stop them and deflect them, they do the same thing with a bullet.
I think
know in
they're called
Legends-
slug throwers in
Yeah.
Legends, right? And the Sand People will
Correct.
sometimes use them, and they weren't cost effective. Was the reason. In my head I used to think that, like, why not get like an MP4 or whatever? You know, like just get a gun, and
Yeah.
shoot the shit out of them. But it'd be
Like an
pretty
Andor?
anticlimactic not seeing the blaster bolt travel at a speed we can see and deflect. Like, I think just cinematic purposes doesn't work. But yeah, slug throwers were a thing. and probably would be effective in my estimation. I just don't think that they want to go there because it would be shit. Just Jedi being like, unhand her, you devious bounty hunter. And he's like,
I know
done.
the Mandalorians use slug throwers against the Jedi because they were like supposedly worse at deflecting it. So.
Yeah, well.
But bullets in Star Wars would be weird on the big screen.
Yeah, remember those guns that they had in Andor?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
look like AK-47s. Dooku conspiring to destroy Grievous only to reconstruct him into a separatist weapon would be such a cool miniseries in the right hands. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The thing I struggle with there is like, are you trying to make Grievous this sympathetic character now? Because that's never what George wanted. He always wanted him to be just like comically evil. So who do you follow there? Like, who's the person the audience is supposed to connect with?
What is his race, a Kalish or so? I think that Disney has the hots for making sympathetic villains at the moment, and it seems to be a trend, a motif. But I believe that you could do it as his own standalone movie, and it wouldn't be as bad as say like Craven in the Marvel universe, where he was always meant to be just hot for the hunt, not some sympathetic. He made me do it. My daddy's mean. I think it would just make Grievous more pathetic, that he thinks he's a warrior and he's sunk so low and he doesn't even know it. So I think he can do it. It just takes a deft hand and really skilled writing to not make it seem, heavy-handed, if you will. Yeah. It's like,
how do you guys, how do you feel about them changing like Grievous's backstory for canon, where he like wants these improvements and wants to compete with Jedi, and he chooses to surgically augment himself intentionally, and it's not like some Sith accident?
I think the idea of like even a Grievous show, or a movie, kind of showing like his lifestyle as a Kalish, and the warrior spirit that they had, and just how badass they were. They were like, I'd say, everything an Avatar is. They kind of remind me of Avatars, but more like bone colored, or like desert colored, but just better. Like, just seems like they're more ready for war and more aggressive and like evolutionary, made for battle, evolved for battle. And I think a backstory of like who he was, his home, and then eventually getting into that ship and then it crashing, and Dooku conspiring with Palpatine to orchestrate that whole thing, and then Sand Hill and the banking clan coming in and funding the whole thing like that, and doing what they did and experimenting on Grievous to turn him into what they did, and then eventually, finally, him being put together as a robot, and then being trained, after the failure of like putting Sifo-Dyas's blood in him and blood of the Jedi and this and that to make him force sensitive, and it failing, or maybe it like works for like a little bit and then it just like causes complications or something like that.
It's like a Greek tragedy.
I think, that
but
could be a cool show.
It's poetry, the echo of, obviously it worked for Vader, and we're seeing the Mark I of Vader with Grievous, where like, he's all blown up and they're like, oh, he's dead. Sidious is like, what are you talking about? Like, scoop that shit up. We've got something here. And then, stuffing him together and making him and going, okay, I can do this. And then doing it again for Vader. The parallels, I just don't think the audience would know the parallels if you don't read the book. So I think it would be very enjoyable. Again, it has to be done right, though.
Grievous's armor was superior to Vader's.
But wasn't
like
that on
cybernetics
purpose,
where, Palpatine purposefully limited Vader.
Yeah, he wanted Vader to have the most shitty, garbage, outdated technology.
Just punishing him.
Yeah, just make him super limited so he has to rely on the Force and his power, but also to punish him. Because he knows at the end of the day, no one's going to kill him, but, like he's
the meanest thing, call him Vader because he can't have kids. Vader looks down. I just got one question. Master, why is my dick wood? He's like, I don't know, idiot. See you later. Figure it out.
Dude. No. Loving the choice of the Hound as the Balin. Theory, give me a Theory Saber recommendation, bro. Let's see. What are you feeling? Cincinnati's 5-star barber. All right. Let's see. I mean, you can't go wrong with a classic, of course, if this is your first one. Dude, my favorite of all of them so far right now, before we release the Dual King, is the Prodigal Son V1, the affordable one. It just is such a well-balanced saber. That, and if you want something like cool factor, Malice is dope. Any of the Survivor sabers you're gonna have a blast with. Of course, the NE3, it's iconic. Dark Lord, Shadow Hunter, if you want a great deal. And I mean, anything right now, you get another one with it. So take advantage.
Feel good, Cincinnati. I said to Theory the first episode, hey, man, I gave away my last saber to somebody and I never got back. And I was like, can you give me a recommendation for one of your Theory sabers? I'm plugging your company. And he was like, the saber picks the master. And I'm like, okay, no saber recommendation for Dash.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting until our dual line is out because I want to send you guys that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I just thought that you'd like look at people and be like, you need this. It's probably a wooden handle one now. I've just put myself in a corner. The sheer look one.
Yours is gonna be like a dildo.
Knows
My
me
wife
well.
surprised me with Obi-Wan saber for a wedding gift. Oh, that's beautiful. Love the saber, man, and keep up the good work. Thank you, Dylan. Congratulations on the wedding. That's beautiful. I hope you guys have a very fruitful marriage and a beautiful relationship.
Thank you, Dylan.
And thank you to your wife for grabbing you probably the best gift you'll ever get. Dash, I like your new channel.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, let me bring it up on screen here. Got Dash's channel right here, Dash Star 2.0. This is Dash's new channel. He's about to crack 4K subs. If you don't know anything about Dash, he was one of the OG Star Wars YouTubers. He had about, it was like 500,000 subscribers back in the day. Something like that, right?
Yeah. I stopped, can you
was
believe, in
big.
2018 for a while, and I just experimented. And the new channel, I do need to stress this. If you just see a bunch of random videos of me testing stuff, it's because I'm basically testing stuff. I don't know. Like, I don't want to do played out content or stuff that people have done before. I kind of want to stretch myself a little bit. So just word to the wise, if you see some AI that's janky, it's me just figuring out how to tell stories the best.
How dare you experiment with your own channel? How dare you?
We're setting expectations.
Yeah. No, that's cool. It'll be back up to where it was in no time, man. Can you not re-upload all the old videos you had?
No, it's part of the deal. Like I said, I spoke to the guy, and
Oof.
even though he's not doing Star Wars anymore, I just none of that.
What
you
the
know,
heck?
and
He won't give you your old videos even?
Well, even though they don't get views, it's he
Still,
owns
they're
them
yours. You
technically.
made
But he's open to selling you the channel for that astronomically ridiculous price, right? Which
Yeah,
is not even
I'm gonna throw Theory. Can I throw you under the bus? I'm gonna do it. I don't care. This is how much of a good dude Theory is. Number one, when I said I don't want to do Disney Star Wars anymore, and like Last Jedi broke me for like a good amount of time till the Mandalorian came out, I kind of had a dip again. Theory, the first thing he said to me is, are you okay? Do you want to work on projects together? And do you need like money? I think Geekdom 101, Danny asked me the same. Nobody else, like everybody distanced themselves from me because I did the taboo of saying, I don't like Disney. I don't like where this is going. But anyway, after I came on this stream to add to the mystique or the legend of Theory, he's like, I want to help you buy back your own channel. And then I showed him how much the guy wanted. And he was like, there's no world. Like, because I said, I'm not going to do it. I would have done it if it was a normal amount. But anyway, that's how kind he is. And I know people crap on you and you probably don't want to hear about, you don't want me to expose you for your charity. But the kindness is just astronomical, dude. You didn't even have to offer.
Well, I love my friends, you know, and I hate to see injustice. So,
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. That's super generous of you. I had no idea about that. That's
He said,
That's
"Don't tell
awesome.
Stoops." I said, "Why?" He goes, "Just trust me. He'll want some money." I went, "What?"
I think your new channel's gonna do super well, man.
Do well,
I
you know.
think
I'm still mulling it over on that whole, now that it's out in the open. I mean, yeah.
To be honest, I think I should just let it go. Like I just want to experiment. I don't care if the channel blows up or not. I feel like I have fun every week talking Star Wars with you guys, and I've got my other channel, my main channel at the moment, and I'm just having a blast being free of any expectations. But I cannot express in words how grateful I am they even considered it, dude, or offered. It's insane.
Oh, of course, dude. Don't even mention it. I'm sure the new channel is going to do great, and in the meantime, let's just see what happens. I'm going to say that. But yeah, that guy's a real interesting dude. I'll tell you that much. So, anyways, with that, brings us to the 2-hour mark. I know Wave had to go. I myself have been streaming all day, pretty much, with on the other channel as well, with Critical Drinker Waller. So we're gonna cut it short tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We love you all so much, and we're still trying to figure out the name. Some days I lean to Sith Triumvirate. Some days I lean to Star Boys, just because it's easy to say. But at the end of the day, we'll figure it out. We hope we see you guys at MegaCon in a few weeks here. But until then, of course, we'll see you again next week. And hope you guys are ready for all the videos in between on all of our respective channels. So for another few hours, you get one free mystery saber with your order at theorysabers.com. We truly offer the most out there in the industry, and we hope you guys take advantage of this sale for the next few hours only. Love you all. Anything else you guys want to add?
no, love you guys. Thank you for showing up every week and showing love. It's incredible. No us without you, sincerely. So thank you.
Yeah,
100%. And I want to say that I try and read the comments and I appreciate them. When I was in New Zealand and I couldn't get on the show, I had to stop myself from messaging because everything that the boys said, you feel like you're a part of the conversation, which you are. And so as the silent member, I was just screaming at my phone trying to because I wanted to get a part of it. So I get how that feels and really appreciate you guys being a part of this.
This is truly a blessing and a dream to have this podcast together. It's, fuck. It's amazing. It's so cool.
Goated.
The OGs, the OGs. It's really sweet. So we love you guys. Catch you later. Have a great rest of your evening, and see you in the next one.